Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another tutorial. Snapshot 22W42A came out yesterday and I could not wait to get my hands on the hanging signs. I have been so excited since I saw it at Minecraft Live, and so I've worked out a few concept pieces here, so let's just get right into it. Starting with a very obvious concept, the shop sign, right? So I've also played around a little bit with the bamboo and things just to make a kind of a shop front here, and yeah, we got a little bamboo shop, and I've used some invisible item frames here to slap some extra bamboo onto the sign to give it just a little bit of extra detail, and I think it came out pretty nice. Speaking of signs, we can also obviously use them. This was probably most people's first inclination, was to use them for actual signposts, and they are fantastic, especially considering you can now have them diagonal. You can do that with regular signs in vanilla, but you couldn't do that where they were up against a post or anything, and having the ability to have them facing north, west, south, east, and all of that is very, very helpful to make directions a little bit more intuitive on your servers and in your worlds. So there's a couple of examples here. I've also got this one, the mega sign. Double signs are mega. This is an example of a mega sign. So if you put a regular sign and then have like a block there to put that one, if you break the block that these ones are attached to, they will still keep floating. It's only when they're like this with the attached to a center point that if you break them, they will break as well. And taking the signpost concept a little bit further, you can make like a directory, right? So here I have the Derp Mall, and we have the Wacko Taco on the 3rd floor, go straight, the Foundry to that way, left, on the 2nd floor, and some wash closets or toilets that way as well. And then we have the Panda Express and the Black Market and parking garage and all that. So very cool concept for directories. You can use these for like malls or theme parks or all sorts of different scenarios where I guess it would work. Then moving on to some mega signage. Here I have like the entrance to a theater. And as you can see here, it says theater on the sides. These signs connect up really nicely when they're hanging like this, and it creates this continuous flow of like one big block. It's also a very good way of adding detail in between two pillars instead of using like walls and stuff like we used to do before to add a little bit of depth. I really like how this is coming out. Now you have to bear in mind that these signs are fairly smaller than the regular signs, which means that you can fit a lot less characters in here. Here I'm still going with my regular 4x3 font, but I've also added these strips on the side, which line up pretty nicely with the chains, and I do like the way that these signs are looking. And then in the middle here, we also have just like a now showing. We got Derpol 3, Saving Susan, Blade Miner, and Jeff. Just Jeff. Okay. So that is the theater entrance, and then moving just off to the side here, we also have a concept that I really enjoy, and that's the swinging or rotating sign. So you can see that this one feels kind of like it's been swaying in the wind, right? They all have the center point, which means that these would probably pivot if there was any kind of wind. And this one's just for like a pharmacy, so you have meds, and then like a cross again. You can't get a proper cross, so that's pretty much the cross that I got there. But yeah, just another really cool signpost. So if you guys are finding any of this useful so far, this is going to be a very short video. Just give it a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and let's get going with the next ones. So we've been using the signs so far as actual signs, but now let's think about them a little bit more in terms of just decorations. And here we have one that was kind of shown off in Minecraft Live, and I really like the concept. It's just like some flag banners hanging in between two buildings. I think that this could really spruce up your alleyways, even though I didn't use any spruce in this design here. I do like the brighter colors, the yellow, the cyan, the magenta, the red, and the orange. I feel like that's a more colorful and vibrant way of using them. The browns would work, but I like the colored ones more. And then we have some paper lantern, just some paper lanterns floating up here. I thought this was a really nice design. This is one of the ones that we came up with in a live stream. If you guys missed the live stream, you might want to go check that out. But yeah, I mean, a couple of my viewers came up with some concepts, and I've used some of the ideas here, but I've tweaked obviously quite a lot of them. But this was one that we came up just like this, and I like it. I like it. It would add a lot more to like open spaces in between buildings or at the top of buildings, just where you can, you know, imagine that people would have maybe let some of these go for a celebration. Then the next one we have here is one that I got the idea from the Enigma man. He was mentioning vent flaps, and I think this looks pretty good for a vent flap. I'm not 100% happy with the way this one looks, but I'll play around with it a little bit more. If I come up with a better concept, it'll probably end up in a video somewhere. But yeah, it's just a vent flap idea, right? And speaking of flaps, we also came up with the idea of using it as a flap coming out of a conveyor belt. Now, recently I did a video on airports. I'll probably just link that one in this video. So if you check top right hand corner, there's probably a video there about airports. And yeah, so this is conveyor belt, and then you have the little flap where everything comes out. And in the airport video, I had a conveyor belt for the security check where you put your bags through, right? And I think it will work pretty well in a scenario like that as well. But speaking of industrial design, walkways. These things are very good as fences or barriers. They look pretty cool, and you can use them for your bridges. And in this case, I thought just in the context of Cyberpunk, we'd probably go with something like an industrial walkway. So it could either be hanging or it could be supported by pillars from the bottom. But the idea here is that you can actually use these as sides, and I think they look pretty dang cool. I've also attached them to gates and then the fence, just so that there's some connection. I do always like it when things actually connect up properly. And then here's another concept that a viewer came up with that I've been playing around with, and that's the broken hanging bridge, right? So imagine a walkway had broken, and this is all that's hanging off of this side, and like the railings are just hanging here, right? I think it's a really nice design. It could definitely add a little bit of extra story to your worlds, and especially in like dilapidated buildings or any kind of scenario where, you know, a little bit of wear and tear would make sense. I think that would look pretty cool. Then moving on to just a little bit of interior design, because why not? We have a nice little chandelier idea here. So we have some lanterns hanging off of chains, and then we also have some of these hanging signs hanging off of the chains. You could do any kind of different design you want on these signs. I've just gone for a plain one here just to show proof of concept. But yeah, I think it would make a really good chandelier, and playing around with this and expanding on it where you might have them hanging at different heights and like lanterns, and have them a little bit more erratic or chaotic placement would probably make for some seriously interesting chandelier designs. There's only so many things you can use to make your chandeliers, and it's nice that hanging signs is something that we'd be able to incorporate into chandelier designs in the future. Then also for interior design, I've just gone and concepted a little bit of like a blinds situation, right? So we got some blinds hanging in front of a window. Again, you could probably add in some stripy details to make these blinds look like they have some kind of pattern. But again, just a proof of concept, and I'm happy with it. And finally, we have our friendly little drone here. This is just one idea of what you could do with a drone. This one's got a friendly little face on it. I've used the version of the sign here that actually has the bar, because I thought, you know, we'll show different variants. So there's this one, and then there's also this one, which is my favorite. This is a little envelope. I hope that you guys could tell that that's a little envelope. And this one's just hanging straight off of the slab, and I've added in a little item frame and a book here. And just a nice little concept of a way for you to deliver things to your friends. You could put a shulker box in there, you could put a book in there, you could put all kinds of things, little letters and notes and things like that. And it's literally a little mail delivery drone. So ladies and gentlemen, that was a quick little video about hanging signs. I am super happy. I'm gonna keep playing with them, and in future videos then they might be popping up a little bit more. As the features for 1.20 roll out, I might do some more concept videos moving forward. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. And now I shall be taking the fire exit here. And bye!